Gaslighting. We've all heard this. We've all had somebody do it to us, haven't we? Well, I want to talk to you today about how building self-awareness combats gaslighting. So let's get into this. What is gaslighting? It is a form of psychological manipulation where an individual seeks to sow seeds of doubt in a person's mind, making them question their own memory, perception, or even their sanity. And it can be challenging when you're dealing with a super narcissistic person or a sadist. It can be challenging to recognize and deal with gaslighting. But the more self-aware you are, this becomes a powerful tool to combat this toxic behavior because you'll recognize it right off the bat through self-awareness. So let's explore some strategies to enhance self-awareness and then protect ourselves from the harmful effects of gaslighting. So I want us, through our self-awareness lens, to understand gaslighting, what it is, and how it manifests in various situations. So what are common gaslighting techniques that include, and these are pretty common, and we've had this happen to us. So one is denying previous events. Well, you know, you've had this, and maybe we've seen this in relationships. That never happened. I never did that. You just make stories up. Next is twisting your words. We've done this. We've all done this, if we're honest. We've all gaslighted somebody. Projecting the gaslighter's issues onto you. So I have a problem with this, or this, so I just project it onto other people's. The problem that you have is obviously a mirror. And that mirror is going to shine, and it's going to show light, and you're going to be able to recognize the issues that you have in you. You're going to be able to recognize them in other people, and that's going to make you not want or like that other person, or that's going to make you want to do fight or flight, because that's a trigger response, and I've talked about triggers a lot. So, yeah, another one is trivializing your feelings or experiences. Just, oh, well, that's not a big deal. I cheated on you. That wasn't a big deal. Or, I know I lied, but, everybody lies. It's not a big deal. Those type of things. By recognizing these tactics, you can better defend yourself against manipulation. So let's talk about DEI, developing emotional intelligence. This allows you to identify and understand and manage your emotions effectively. Strengthening your EI can help you maintain self-awareness when dealing with gaslighting attempts, because it doesn't work, because you can recognize it. How do you enhance your EI, your emotional intelligence? You need to practice active listening, empathize with others, manage stress. A lot of times when we're super stressed out, people will know that. They can feel that. Their energy can feel that, and they become vulnerable. They're like vampire energies, and they can feel your stress, and then they'll capitalize on that. And then you taking time to reflect on your emotions regularly. Next is keep a journal. Documenting your thoughts, feelings, and experiences can be a valuable way to maintain self-awareness, and you can track any instances of gaslighting. When you're journaling, you create a record of events, and those records, you can go back to them, and they can help you differentiate between reality and manipulation. Because I've seen people that's manipulated to a point to where they even question their own sanity. Next is trust your gut. Your intuition can be a powerful tool in recognizing gaslighting. If you feel that something is off or that you're being kind of manipulated, trust your instincts. Now, you need to be open and self-aware enough for constructive feedback, and remember that your feelings and perceptions are valid. And I did a whole thing on feelings and emotions and what they can show you and they can bring awareness to, and they're an advocate for you of what I need to learn. Like, why am I feeling this emotion? I feel like this person's gaslighting. Well, why? Well, this pattern is they've been doing this, this, and this, and I wrote this down, and I saw this, and this, and this. Okay, is it true gaslighting? Let me talk to some really good friends that have good emotional intelligence and ask them and have a conversation with them. Oh, they agree it's gaslighting. Well, I need to be quick to remove those people in my life. Out. You're done. You're out. I'm not gonna deal with those type of people. And you'll see it too when you begin to dismiss them out of their life, or you start ghosting them or whatever. You will see the worst part of them, guaranteed. This reaching out to trusted friends, family members, even professional therapists, and sharing your experiences and gaining their insights, that can provide you with an objective perspective outside of yourself. And this, because sometimes you can't identify gaslighting behaviors, but they'll recognize it right off the bat. I saw it once with one of my friends, and I told her, I was like, this new boyfriend you have, he's just gaslighting you all the time. I was like, he's super insecure and jealous. I was like, you need to, you need to look at this. Just watch and be careful. And she's like, nah, he's just, this or this, making excuses for his gaslighting. And then months later, she DM'd me on Instagram and said, yep, you were right. I had to get rid of him. He was super this, that, and that. And he tried to gaslight me even more. And, he was stalking me and everything else. It was really bad. Next is set boundaries. Establishing clear boundaries is crucial to maintaining self-awareness and protecting yourself from gaslighting. Communicate your limits and let others know when they have crossed them. You'll get good at this. At first, maybe some of you have a hard time, but if you begin to communicate your limits and you do it in a loving way, you will get really good at letting people know where they're at. And they'll catch on. They're very sensitive to that. Be assertive in enforcing your boundaries and prioritize your self-care. If they're wanting you constantly to sacrifice yourself and your identity, and they don't want you taking care of yourself, that shows you right there what type of person. Next is educate yourself. Invest time in reading books, articles, watch documentaries, go on YouTube, learn about psychological manipulation, learn about emotional abuse. You can type in gaslighting now, and there's a ton of stuff on there. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you'll be to recognize and address gaslighting when it's happening to you. This one to me is huge, and that is practice mindfulness. It's an effective way to stay grounded, especially in the present moment. When you begin to practice mindfulness, it will help you stay connected to emotions and thoughts. And that makes it harder. When you're being present, it's really hard for someone to manipulate your perceptions. And then finally, build a support network. Having a strong support network will help you combat this. Surround yourself with people who uplift and empower you. Their encouragement and validation will help you stay strong when you're facing this manipulation and cutting this person off. So in conclusion, I encourage each of you, cultivate self-awareness. This is the key to recognize and deal with gaslighting. If you've been gaslighted and you were in a really bad relationship with a narcissist, and I've done podcasts, you can search on narcissism and what that looks like, and narcissistic leaders, I've done that, and how they can gaslight you. The only way that you can prevent yourself from this happening again is not being in fight or flight, because that's fear, not love. And if you come into a relationship with fear, you cannot love. The Apostle Paul talks about that the opposite of love is fear. And I see so many people operating in fear, and they have no idea what true love is. So how can you not be afraid and not have the past affect the future relationship? You need to learn to develop emotional intelligence. Work on your intuition. Build a stronger support system. Maintain your emotional well-being. Put yourself first. Remember, every single one of you with your higher self, every single one of you has the power to stand up against gaslighting.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.